close enough. Basically, everybody, I did some stuff off camera. So this morning I actually went to the hobby store and bought some stuff because I'm sick of waiting for this stuff to come in the mail. So I went down, I actually got myself the correct size pinion for the brushless motor. So that's going in. I also got the connectors because I'm still waiting for the connectors to come through the mail. They should have come up yesterday, but they didn't. So I went to the hobby store and bought connectors down there. So I've got all new connectors on here, all new connectors on here, and I'd already upgraded to a Dean's plug on there. I know people don't like Dean's plugs, but they're simple, they're easy to use. And most of the stuff for my charger actually works on Dean's plugs, so it's just easier for me to use them. So, we still got the car. Oh, and the other thing I got at the hobby store, I did get paint. I got paint, and so I've been working on this. I could probably do with one more coat, and then I've got clear to go over it. Then I'll do the black roll bars, and then I'll put stickers on it, and I'll probably clear coat over the stickers as well. They should be able to handle it. So see how we go. But anyway, let's have a look at where we're at. So let's go right back to the beginning. So this is step 3, where they wanted me to put the motor in. So what do I need for the motor? I need that bit there. This is for the hubs at the back here, so don't need to worry about that. But we need this to mount the motor. And it actually says Tamiya across there. I can only just see it. Is that Tamiya that way? Yeah, okay, it's Tamiya that way. Okay, so we're going to put that through. Oh, it actually clicks in quite well. All right. Now we need those 2 screws. They go all the way through. And I know I didn't do it here, but I did check, and that does mesh up well. This is an 18 tooth, but you can see it's a larger. Where's the other one? It's a larger pinion. That's an 18 tooth as well, believe it or not. Actually, that might be the 19 tooth. But the 18 tooth, 19 tooth, but you can see that they're nowhere near the same size. So there was no way that was going to mesh up with this diff. So let's feed that in there. Where are our screws? Screws are there. So it should marry up somewhere there. That's one. And 2. Now I did tighten up the grub screw onto the motor that holds the pinion gear. But I think it's going to be exactly the same thing as what happened with the Hornet. Once you get a bit of vibration going through it, that grub screw works its way free, and you end up having to pull the the motor out, and redo it. Don't know where I'm going to run these wires. I can run them under, or I can run them over. These have got like a thicker sheath on them, so I'll probably be running them somewhere around there. Mind you, I have to watch out because the body has to go on there, so I probably will have to run them under. All right. Otherwise, it won't sit well with the body. And here's the problem. Once I do this, I won't know which one's which. See, the middle one, which is that second one I just put through, that'll be running, it should be the one running to the middle. The other two will go to the outside. So the middle one should run to this, and the other two run to the outside. Then you have to find out which way it's set up, because if the motor's turning in the wrong direction, you'll have to switch any two of these wires. Also, I have no idea where I'm going to mount this speed controller. Why? Because when you put the body on and you've got the man, when they first built these cars, they didn't have an electronic speed controller, and they definitely didn't have an electronic speed controller that had a fan on top. So there was more room, so the man sits in here somewhere, and I don't know if the man will actually fit if I've got the speed controller there. So might have to reposition that somewhere. Not sure. But anyway, for another time, I can always cut away part of the man, I suppose. But yeah, your speed controller is going to go somewhere in here. But yeah, the original car didn't have electronic speed controller. It had a manual one that actually required a separate servo. And it was basically like a swiveling metal plate that went across contacts. And you guys will remember this because you used to have to keep that covered. So you'd have like a balloon thing that went over the top of it to keep all the sand out of it. Because as soon as sand got into that thing, it was crunchy as. But anyway, so I've got the 3 wires. They are for the body mount, so I can't have these wires going through here. So they must go through there. Plugging those in are not going to be easy. And I don't know which one's which anymore. Right, that's the middle one. All right, so that one should be that one. Yeah, plugging them in is not going to be easy. I should have plugged them in before I threaded them. So I can't even get an angle on that. All right, how far can I feed those through? Not very far. Let's pull them all out. That's the middle one, so we're going for that one. Middle. And as you can see, I've just put bullet plugs on here. All right, so that one's good. Number 2. As I said, this is a guessing game. Won't know until I run power to it if the motor is turning in the right direction. And then number 3. Now I can check that now. That's plugged in. That's on off. That needs to be plugged into a battery. They need to go to the receiver. Okie dokie. Receiver. So this one needs to go here. This one needs to go there. Oop. All thumbs. That's in, that's in. So if we've got a battery, is that already on? Turn it off. This is the new controller. How do I turn this on again? Oh, on. Okay. Then turn this on. That's interesting. How did I get that so wrong? It can't be wrong. Okay. That's interesting. What's different about this receiver? Okay, that's all working. Why are you buzzing on me? All right, fan. Okay. So that's all. Why is the steering reversed? Steering. Okie dokie. That doesn't sound right at all. Steering trim, steering direction. And reverse doesn't work. Okay, I don't know what we're doing now. Alright. I'm gonna have to look into this because they're in the wrong position. And I've got no reverse. So what's going on here? Why are these different? I should be using the first two positions on this receiver, but it won't let me. That should be correct. Actually, no, that shouldn't be correct. This should be here, and this should be there. Anyway, I have to look into that a bit later. And then I'll mount all this stuff. That does sound a bit grindy. But I mean, like, you have to wait for the oil to mix through and everything like that. But it does sound a bit grindy. But yeah, the body, I'll be doing some more work on that.